By the end of this effect, your audience will be convinced that you've developed some kind of X-ray vision. This self-working gem requires no setup and ends with a reveal that feels completely impossible because you don't even look. So, grab a deck and let's blow some minds. Okay, so as ever, let's just kickstart by taking a look at the effect itself. An incredible no-look discovery. And we want to start with a shuffled deck. So just take the cards, hand them to a spectator. They can shuffle those as much as they like. They really are mixed. We now want the spectator to make a totally random and hidden selection. So you're going to turn away so that you can't see anything that's going on. And you're going to ask the spectator just to cut a small pack of cards from the top of the deck. Any number they like, it's a totally free choice. Let's say they cut the cards just here. You're now going to ask the spectator to silently count the number of cards they've just cut from the deck. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Once they've done that, you're going to ask them to place these cards out of sight and hide them so there's no way that you can see them. You're now going to ask the spectator to take the rest of the deck and to count down to the card at the position corresponding to the number of cards they've just cut. So in this case, the 12th card. And you're going to ask them to remember the card at that position as their selection. So the spectator will count down to the 12th card in this instance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, doing that silently so that you can't hear. Ask the spectator to remember the card at that position as their selection. So here we can see the Queen of Diamonds. And once they've done that, just to place the cards back on top of the pack. At this point, you can turn back around towards the cards. And you can just emphasize to the spectator that their selection is totally random. There's absolutely no way that you could know the position or the identity of their card. However, you can explain that you're going to try to find their card without even looking at the cards, just by picking up on their thoughts. So ask the spectator now just to really clearly picture their card in their mind. And you can explain you're going to take small packs of cards to see whether you can sense their selection. So let's see, not picking up anything there. Ask them just to really clearly picture that card in their mind as clearly as possible. So let's see with the next pack here. Again, nothing coming through. You're just going to continue taking small packs of cards, comparing them to the rest of the cards to see whether there's anything different that you can pick up on. Again, nothing there. Ask the spectator to draw the card in their mind so that it's really clear. No, still nothing coming through in that pack. Let's try just a few more cards. Still nothing coming through. Let's try just one more pack. I'm still not picking up on anything. Okay, with that done, you can explain to the spectator that you think you know what's happening. Because we're not working with a full deck here, things might be slightly out of balance. So you're just going to ask the spectator to take the cards they cut from earlier on and just to place these back on top of the deck. With that done, you can just explain to the spectator that with a full deck, you're feeling much more confident. In fact, you're feeling so confident that you think you're going to make things even more difficult. You're now going to try to find their card without even looking at the cards at all, with the cards out of sight behind your back. You can take the deck here and just confirm with the spectator that their card isn't on top of the deck and their card isn't the bottom card just here, so it must be somewhere in the middle. Asking them again to really clearly think of their card, you're now going to place the deck behind your back. Okay, let's see. So again, you're just going to try to sense the cards, just going through the cards behind your back to see whether you can pick up on anything different. Once you think you've found the spectator's card, you can bring the deck back out to the front. You can explain to the spectator that you did indeed find their card, and well, they're probably going to be slightly skeptical. So you're going to explain that you can prove it. You're going to explain that when you found their card behind your back, you actually turned it around and then placed it back into the deck. And with that said, you can now take the deck and spread the cards on the table. And this will display one single face down card amongst all of the face up cards. You can take this single card and just remove it from the deck. You can remind the spectator that from a shuffled deck, they had a totally free choice of card. There's absolutely no way that you could have known which card they'd choose or the position of that card. You can also emphasize that you haven't even looked at the faces of the cards once. For the very first time, you can now ask the spectator to name their selected card. Of course, in this instance, it was the Queen of Diamonds. And now you can reveal that this card right here, found without even looking behind your back, is indeed the Queen of Diamonds. A super clever effect that's also super simple to perform. So stick around because now I will show you exactly how it works. Okay, so let's take a look at the secret to this effect. Now, you really do start with a shuffled deck. The spectator can shuffle the cards as much as they like. Now, this effect works via a clever mathematical principle. And the first thing you're going to ask the spectator to do as you look away is just to cut a small pack of cards from the top of the deck. Now, they need to cut less than half of the deck, so ask them just to cut a few cards, but it really is a free choice. They can cut as many cards as they like. Once they've done that, ask them then to count the number of cards they've cut from the deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ask them to remember this number and place the rest of the cards out of sight. Ask them now to take the rest of the deck and to count down to the card at the position corresponding to the number of cards they've just cut. So in this case, the 14th card. So 1, 2, 3, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ask them to remember the card at this position as their selection. So here we can see the 2 of diamonds, and then to place these cards back on top of the pack. You can now turn back around towards the cards and take the pack. You can perform a false shuffle or false cut of your choice just to make it look as though the cards are mixed. In a demonstration, I perform a simple false cut to the table as follows, cutting a small number of cards from the top of the pack and placing these on your left, placing the rest of the pack on your right, and then cutting about half of these cards and placing them in the middle. You then simply gather up the packs from your left to the right, and nothing has changed. You're now going to pretend to sense the cards while secretly counting the cards in order to get the selected card exactly where you need it. And to do this, you're going to cut 52 cards, the total number of cards in the deck, from the top of this pack to the bottom of the pack. In the presentation, I did this with 4 packets of 10 and then 2 packets of 6 cards. To make it look more natural, you can count the 10 cards in small packets. 3 packets of 3, and then 1 single card to make 10. You will then take this packet of 10 and place it on the bottom of the other cards. You're now going to repeat that 3 more times. With 40 cards now cut to the bottom, you're now going to cut 2 packets of 6 to the bottom. So again, counting in 3s. And now repeating that 1 more time. And at the end of that, you've now cut a total of 52 cards. And as a result of that cutting, the spectator's card will now be the bottom card of the pack. In this instance, the 2 of diamonds. Having yet to find the selected card, ask the spectator now to take the cards that they cut from earlier and place these on top of the pack. You're now going to take the deck and perform a couple of shuffles. The first shuffle is going to bring the spectator's selected card, which is on the bottom of the deck, to the top of the deck, and this is via a simple overhand shuffle, just shuffling off the cards, with the last few cards being shuffled off individually, including the spectator's selected card. You're now going to perform 1 more overhand shuffle to bring the spectator's selected card, which is now on top, to be the second from bottom card. To achieve this, you're just lightly going to draw off the top and the bottom card in the act of an overhand shuffle, and then shuffle the rest of the cards on top as normal. With the spectator's card now second from bottom, you can just confirm that the selected card isn't on top of the deck and it isn't on the bottom of the deck, meaning it must be somewhere in the middle. You're now going to take the deck behind your back in order to find the selected card, and here's simply what happens. With the deck behind your back, you're simply going to take the second from bottom card, the spectator's selected card, the 2 of diamonds here, and turn it over, and then just give the deck one complete cut. So the selected card is now reversed in the middle. With that done, you can then just bring the deck back out to the front. Explaining that you found the selected card, you can now take the deck and spread the cards on the table. And this will reveal one single face down card amongst all of the face up cards. And you can just remove this card from the deck. All that's left to do now is to ask the spectator to name their selected card. And now you can reveal that that is indeed the single reversed card right here. In this instance, the 2 of diamonds. Go and amaze. And there you have it. But here's the bigger picture. Pulling off something that feels impossible without even looking helps you trust your thinking and believe in yourself. So hit subscribe and keep building that mindset one amazing trick at a time. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, keep the magic alive.